like to vote for our film?
Who's ready for a Q&A? Okay, I'll start it off first. I'll ask a question, and then I'll kick it off to the audience so you guys can simmer with your questions. So the film is a deep emotional layered look at so many years of accomplishments and complexities. What jump-started the project, and why was now the right time for it?
Well, there was a lot of interest over the years in films and stuff about the Go-Go's, and it never felt right. But as time went on, we started feeling a little bit of pressure to do it before, like we were too haggy. And we heard about Allison, and we saw her stuff. We saw the Eagles documentary and American Jihad, and we were super impressed with her, and we loved that she was a woman. And so we approached her, and she wanted to do it. So that's how it happened.
It took a year of convincing us because we were still a little bit reticent, but we're here.
When you guys signed up for this, what type of access were you guys okay with, or were you coming into this with full access to our archives, full access to our lives? Were there rules?
Well, we wanted to set the rules with Allison first. We wanted to have 100% artistic control and final cut, but she said absolutely not. And in typical Go-Go's fashion, we would have really fucked it up. So we gave her control. I think we were really concerned about the archival footage because nobody had cameras back then, really, at our shows, and we were really.
Weren't invented yet.
That was like in the 1870s.
Look, she hands it to me after she said everything. I mean, what do you want me to say? I mean, no, we... Okay.
We'll get you on the next
we
question.
like to be in charge all the time. Sometimes it don't work that way. And when we let somebody else take control, then it works out really well.
Okay, I saw your hand first.
I noticed in a lot of the footage from back in the day that you were asked a lot as a female band about your relationships with one another, and I doubt very much that male bands are being asked the same questions. Do you think that things have changed, and if so, how, or what other changes would you guys love to see?
Well, we all had sex with each other a lot. So, I don't know if the guys do it, but we thought it was natural. And 40 years later, we're still doing it. I'm kidding. Look, she said not really, Jesus Christ. She's going to open a can of worms. We're going to have to run out of here. No, I don't know. You know, whatever. Now that I comic relief here, go ahead. You can say something.
I think that answered it.
Next.
All right, yes, ma'am. How do they feel now that they've seen the final cut?
Well, it's actually been really, it's put another level of healing and forgiveness in place for this band. It's been something to help us grow and grow closer. And after we saw it, well, I mean, all I wanted to do was just have sex with everyone. I just wanted to just wrap around and just hug everybody and get hugged. And it just felt like it was a very important, I wasn't expecting that. I was not expecting that.
Because we are family.
Should we go back the other way?
Okay, yes, ma'am.
So I just want to say you were the soundtrack to my senior year. Honestly, I met you yesterday at the panel, and I had an opportunity to say thank you to each one of you. And you spoke to my soul in the way that you healed. When, you know, during that time in the 80s, I cut my hair just like you did.
I am so sorry.
I watched this movie and I saw my hair. And I saw how I danced. And it brought back my own stuff in high school.
Oh, wow. It's amazing.
I felt like I grew up with you.
Stop it.
I know we're.
And now I'm a filmmaker too, a documentary filmmaker. And so I have my first film
question.
Film does have the power to heal. A question for Allison.
How did you get Ginger to do the movie, and was she agreeable after everything that everybody went through with her?
She was agreeable. It took some convincing, but Emer was really particularly worked that angle for a long time. The game of trust. It's all about trust. And I worked on Margot. It took a while to get them to agree to do it, but they did. And it was the same deal with these guys. It's like, we're going to tell an honest story. If you're not going to be honest, we're not. We won't do the interview. So, and they all agreed.
Yes, sir, in the back that's waving.
Hi. Just maybe the Go-Go's can expound a little bit about their parents and how that relationship evolved. Some of you spoke to that a little bit in the film, but what do your parents think at this point, if they're still alive, and how did that progress through your life and the career in your band?
My parents were super supportive, and in fact, my dad was such a cut-up. We were playing the Greek Theater in Los Angeles once, and he and my mom Betty were sitting in their seats, and the girls behind them were just like, and finally they're like, "What are you guys doing here?" And my dad says, "Oh, I'm the Go-Go's gynecologist."
That's going to be hard to top. Shit. My mom and dad were always, well, my mom especially came to just about every concert that she could. And I left Baltimore when I was 21 in my father's pickup truck with a friend of mine and drove to LA and knew a couple people. And they were so supportive the last thing they said to me, I think they said to Jane too on the phone, please don't join any cults. I mean, that was their big worry, that I was going to join a cult. But then, I'm serious. Roll forward many years, I have both of them sitting on the side of the stage and we're playing Madison Square Garden. I made them proud. That's all I wanted to do, because it was scary for them. No, I'm not giving it any, no. Yeah.
There's another one over here. She just came.
Gina's mom, June, was
Amazing.
always at, I don't even know how she did it, but almost every show. But it was about 5 years ago, we were on the tour bus, touring, obviously. And June was it was about midnight. We were watching, we put Jane's phone had Grindr on it, and we put that up on the screen. And June, how old was she? Maybe like 90. She was right there with us going, ew, look at the ears on that guy. Oh my God. I mean, she was phenomenal, and it's such a big support, and we miss her.
Just one more parent story. My mom, I moved to LA from Austin, Texas when I was 19. And my mom was really supportive. She kind of let me do whatever I want. She practiced free range parenting. And my dad, however, was I didn't have a relationship with him. And when I asked him for money to help me buy an electric guitar and an amp, he was like, no, that's a lifestyle of little substance and worth. And so fast forward 2 years later, and we're on tour, and we're in Oklahoma, and my dad came with his wife, and it was one of my best moments as an early go-go, as a successful go-go. He said, I was wrong, and I got your records right next to my Merle Haggard. It was really awesome.
Yay.
We have time for a few. Yes, ma'am, here.
I have a director question. Can you compare and contrast your experience working with the Go-Go's?
I know where this is going. Everybody asks. It's such a hard question because it's a very different experience. But I've been saying I'm the eldest of 4 girls, so I understand sisterhood, and I feel this sisterhood with these guys. I feel like I got to know them personally a little bit better than the guys in the Eagles. But it is a very different experience. The male energy is very different than the feminine energy, and this is I think both films are about friendship in some ways, but this is more. There's more competition in the Eagles, and this was more about pain that was a result of that. And I just feel a real affinity with these gals. So it's a tough one to answer, though.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am, right there.
How do you get in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
Well, I'm not going to say what we usually say back. back in the dressing rooms. But, you know, it'll happen, but at the same time, we don't feel like we need any validation from them.
I also just want to say that we have a couple of jabs about that in the film that we were completely prepared in October to take out, assuming they were going to be brought into this finally admitted. So anyway, they're in there now. So well,
We have time for a few more.
So, yes, you absolutely belong to Wall Street. And I've been hearing about an interview with Jeff Weiner or Stephen comments on that, so it sounds like this is going to happen. But I hear a lot of people talk about how men are judged on their potential, women are judged on their resume and their mistake. And during the film, I know I can't remember what one of you said that you learned all about failures and successes. How do you feel that as women musicians for 40-something years, you can help, and what would you say to other female musicians and how they support one another so that you can have a stage and you don't have to rely on things like that?
Well, I think what we did, we just went for it. We had a focus and a vision and energy that just propelled us forward, and that is what it takes. And it just believes in believing in what you were doing. You know, as we continued to write songs and be together and play, and I mean, it was just obvious to us. We were like, wow, okay, something's happening here.
Having 5 of us didn't hurt at all, though, because it was the combined energy that made it work. All these women that are kind of, you know, they're solo artists or whatever, I kind of feel for them. I feel like they're like these little islands. And I guess I would suggest, if you're going to be a solo artist, to surround your people, you know, try and have a lot of women, I guess. And good men. We love good men.
I don't know what else to say. I mean, you just don't give up. You just follow, you know, whatever you're keep focused on what you want to do. And, you know, I mean, look, when we try to get a record deal, there a million, we're out trying to get all these different record deals with a million different companies, but remember, it only takes one. It takes one. And that's the sort of thing you need to focus on, because there's going to be all this rejection, tons of rejection, and that's what, like Jay said, having a team around you to be supportive in situations like that. It's really important. It helps to keep you going, you know, when you wake up and think, fuck it, I can't do this anymore. So, I don't know. That's it.
We have time for one more question. Yen, I know you've been.
I thought it was excellent too, and I loved listening to you growing up. Wanted to know, since you guys have gone through the path of healing and all of that, you guys ever reconnect with your original manager who had some
We're still in touch with her, and you know, we feel like, you know, we really didn't ever want her to leave. You know, that was never our plan, and with some distance, I mean, time and distance always kind of heals a little bit. But yeah, Ginger's been, she sent us all texts before the screening, and yeah, so. She was in a pretty bad accident, so she's been going through her own healing. She was hit by a truck, right? Yeah, so she's been going through her own healing, and it's been a really devastating physical and emotional thing for her. But we love her very much.
We do love her, and we care about her, and we want the best for her. And as Kathy said, we didn't want her to leave. That was her choice, and we were all surprised when one day she was just gone. It's like trying to call Ginger. She moved to New York. We were all surprised when it happened, but we didn't want her to go.
Unfortunately, I'm being told to wrap up, but is there any final words you guys want to say? Where can we see the movie in the future? Are we working on that?
We're going to be doing a tour this summer in support of the film. And we're going to have a theatrical at some point late spring, early summer.
Yeah. If you guys like the movie, tweet about it, talk about it, so that we can get theatrical. Everybody, please stay in your seat. Talent's going to exit first, but thank you guys for coming.